Good morning. My name's Randall, and I'm the manager here at Spring Forest. And this is Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather.
My associate.
I'm Randall's associate, farm associate, and also the volunteer coordinator here at Spring Forest.
We're standing in our hoop house right now, which helps us plant things through the winter, which we give to the community. We don't sell these greens, we just pass them out. And we're getting ready for our CSAs, so we're in a kind of a rush right now.
I started coming to Spring Forest as a volunteer during COVID. I've always loved plants. I studied herbalism, and coming here and just having, there's so much space to create what you want, and I came in and was like, I'd love to do an herb garden, and Randall was totally on board, and there's just space for projects to happen and really just openness for ideas. But I love, like touching, smelling plants, like having a sensory relationship with them, and I really feel like that's kind of one way that I experience creation. And that when I'm with volunteers, I really like to kind of bring them into that tactile experience, like smelling things and eating things, and just learning that we can be more of what's around us, and that there's always so much abundance happening. And we have like community partners that like there's a garden with our Grow It kind of chef. There's a garden in her neighborhood that Francis just put in because they wanted to have food available for the neighborhood, and also, like Randall was saying, like a community place for people to come together. And then Lisa Bachman, who's also a part of our organization, that's the garden that Francis put in my neighborhood. And so I came, my roommate was like, oh, they're doing a community garden, do you want to go? And so I went to the community garden, met Francis, and then came here through that. So it's also a really interesting way of doing outreach if you have places where people want or need a garden and want to foster and build community. I mean, I guess the thing that comes up first is being like not being alone, in the very basic sense that like I'm part of a community where I share the values of my community, and I know that I'm like a valuable member of that community, so I show up for the community and the community shows up for me, and just kind of not being in this very American sense of doing everything on our own, and there being this place to open up and learn from people who are coming in. For a long time, it was really hard for me to deal with change because of some trauma in my history, but being here has just kind of allowed me to relax and be like, people are going to come in and people are going to go, and just getting to experience people and, their qualities. We just had someone who was a former divinity student stay with us, and learning from him and just feeling like I'm in a safe container, and the people around me have a shared vision, and I can see God working through the people around me and God working in my life. And so it feels like a more real way of having spirituality, to have it within a community. And then we have, gatherings. I mean, I'm here often. I live 10 minutes away, but we have gatherings twice a month, and there's morning and evening prayer. So there's a lot of ways to just kind of stay plugged into what we're doing. And then of course the outreach that we're able to do for refugees, and I don't know, it's just like when you come from a place of abundance, you obviously can give, and being able to receive abundance, give abundance, and then just show up. And then the one thing that always comes up for me is like when I feel something calling me, I show up, and I keep showing up until that either is something or it shows that it's not something. And through being at Spring Forest, I just kept finding more and more and more things that were like, oh, like I need to keep showing up for this place because this is means so much to me, and I want to give to this space as well.
One more thing into that, we want folks to come here and share the knowledge they have about gardens, because I'm not a farmer, I'm just a road guy. But we open up a door to be creative and let those folks be creative. And like the project Heather mentioned, the garden we're creating is a medicinal and culinary garden. So, we're having fun with that. We all mentor each other. It's all about wisdom, and we get the wisdom through age and whatever. Even children have wisdom. So.
Okay, let's see here. My favorite vegetable It's got to be, we had these, I don't remember the name of them, but they were these Japanese yams with purple skin and white insides, and they're so creamy and so sweet, and they just taste like dessert. And my favorite herb, I mean, I'm holding rosemary right now, but, man, what's my favorite herb?
I don't know.
I don't know what my favorite herb is. I'm
Yeah.
really into lavender right now.
Yeah.
But, it changes all the time depending on, like, what plant I'm having a relationship with.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm...
She'll walk through the woods and say, "Oh, look, this is edible," and eat it.
Yeah, I'm into foraging. I'm really into
Yeah,
foraging.
she is really
so,
into foraging.
Yeah.
Here,
awesome.
try this.
That's awesome.
Don't eat that.
Yeah, don't eat that one. All right. Hey,
Okay,
thank
cool.
you guys.
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
All right.